and I kind of alluded to it before, Tristan Wirfs going to the Bucks was a steal. Protect Tom Brady, win a Super Bowl. That's kind of just how it works, right? Protect Tom Brady, win a Super Bowl. I think that was a steal, 100% steal. I know we were supposed to do surprise first, but this is just kind of how the segue works. So we're just gonna roll with it. So that was my big steal. I think that team is just the rich are just getting richer in that situation. That they're just stacking up, getting ready for a run right now in what's going to be a fun division. But that is my steal from the draft. Anyone?
What you guys got?
All right, so I'm gonna go with two players right now.
Okay.
One, my original one, I'm gonna just say because we already kind of mentioned it. It's KJ Hill in the 7th round. I think that's a steal. Only reason why that happened was just because the wide receiver pool was so deep. Mm-hmm. And I think some teams made mistakes not taking him. But I'm not going to go too far into that because I think another good steal was Grant Delpit to the Cleveland Browns. Yes. This guy's a ball hawk. You're getting a ball hawk. He racked up 27 interceptions. Not the greatest hitter. Like, he misses some tackles every now and then. That's why he fell into the 2nd round. Personally, I feel like safeties are starting to get robbed as far as like what they mean to each team. You didn't have a single 1st-round safety. And I think safeties are becoming the running backs of this of the defense because everyone keeps forgetting about them because they're all the way back there. They're not covering a man one-on-one all the time, but you need a safety with range. That's what Grant Delpit does. And getting him in the 2nd round, you're going to have that Cleveland defense stacked. Like Myles Garrett coming back. You have Denzel Ward on the edge. You got Grant Delpit out there roaming. Mac Wilson just like sitting in the middle. Like they're stacked on every single piece of their defense. Yeah. And I think Grant Delpit's going to be that final piece that just gets everything together for them.
100% agree. 100% agree.
I hope so.
Pete, what you thinking for a steal?
So a lot of the guys you mentioned were good. I think we've already mentioned a lot of these 1st round and 4th, 5th round picks the Cowboys got. There were a lot of steals. CeeDee Lamb was a great drop. I think the biggest steal they had was Tyler Rudez in the 4th round because that was a need that we needed to fill. So we already went over that. I'm going to throw out another guy that went later in the round, Tyler Johnson. So Tyler Johnson's a wide receiver out of University of Minnesota.
Yes.
And this guy he doesn't have the names like these top 4 or 5 receivers, but dude, his stats are there. In his last 2 seasons, he had, respectively 1,300 yards, and he was getting 12, 13 touchdowns with 80-plus catches. So think about this. Now he's going to be going into Tampa Bay with Tom Brady, and then he's going to come into the slot where you've got Chris Godwin, Mike Evans, you've got Gronk, and now you're adding this receiver. I think this guy's about to go off. He's going to be this stud slot receiver because all the attention is going to be on the other guys. And Tom Brady is literally going from having whatever receivers to all these elite receivers. He's probably going to have an amazing year. And on top of that, like you guys said, they picked up Tristan Wirfs. So, like, Tom Brady is literally rolling in a Rolls Royce right now.
100%. 100%. I have another one, but I want Arash to go first because I don't want to take his.
What do you have? Go ahead. I don't think you're going to have mine.
But this is on the premise of safeties and the Bucks. They get Antonio Winfield Jr. in the 2nd round too, and they have Todd Bowles as their defensive coordinator. It's setting up that it's like deep run in the playoffs or bust at this point because they're getting everything at this point. But just we were on the segue of safeties and Tampa, so I was like, you got to mention it. You got to mention it.
Well, now that we're on that topic, I'm not huge on Winfield. I think McKinney will be a little bit better. Winfield's skinny, and I don't know. That's my fear with Grant Delpit too. I love Grant Delpit. I love watching him in LSU. I love his game. He reminds me of Matthew, right, from LSU, that honey badger kind of hybrid safety. But I don't know. For some reason, he strikes me as kind of skinny, and I'm afraid that won't translate into the game. He's already not a great tackler. But
he'll learn everything from his
the
dad.
Raiders.
He'll learn everything from
hopefully, yeah. Which was a fun thing about this virtual draft. They had a lot of background details of players that they probably have in every year, but it just seemed like a little bit more this year, where you got to know.
every kid that came out this year, something crazy happened to them. I'm sitting here like, man, I feel so bad. I hope you have a great
like every third bullet's like a tragic death or something.
Yeah, I'm like,
great graphic.
oh. Sorry, go
Yeah,
ahead.
I think ESPN was getting shit for it too. Like afterwards, they were like, "Why are you exploiting these kids like awful upbringings on this day, on their happiest day of their life?"
Yeah.
But let me mention a name that people are not. You guys probably won't know at all, and I only know him because I'm obsessed with like finding these gems. There's a guy named Tanner Muse. This guy's a hybrid linebacker, plays some safety, white boy from Clemson. Picked by the Raiders, who we were shitting on earlier as having an awful draft. They got this one right. They picked him with the 100th selection in the draft. And this guy is, I'm thinking he's going to be a G, dude. Not a sexy name, not a sexy pick. I didn't think he was going to get picked until the 4th or 5th round. So maybe the Raiders got him a little bit earlier. Maybe they picked him right where he should have been picked. But I think this guy is going to be a stud. And we're not going to know his name his entire rookie year. We may not even know it his second year. But I promise you, by year 3, and we'll probably have forgotten this conversation by then, but I won't because I'll be watching him. This guy's going to pan out. I love this guy's game. He's one of those guys who just – he's kind of the guy that puts on 3 straps on his chin strap because he's going to bring the hit. And he's got good speed for a hybrid linebacker safety. I'm excited to see him pan out. I don't normally give Gruden props on his draft, and we were just talking about how he kind of screwed up his draft, but he got this one right. He had 2 third-round picks, and the last one – he used on Tanner Muse, and that guy's going to end up being a G.
Yeah, I have one more mention on top of that. So I think it's kind of crazy how far this guy dropped, but Curtis Weaver out of Boise State. So he's an edge rusher. So in the last couple of years, he's got the highest win rate in college football by over 3 percentage points. His pass rush grade is eclipsed 92 in the last 2 seasons, and he's like ranked top 5 in the country. So you would arguably think this guy could be in the first couple of rounds, depending on need, but he dropped all the way to pick 164. So I don't know. I think that deserves an honorable mention there.
Oh, yeah.
Give an honorable mention as well to Bryce Hall, the corner out of UVA.
Went to the Jets.
Yeah, he went 158 to the Jets. They're saying that basically, if he came out like a season ago after 2018, he would have been a first-round, easy first-round grade, would have been taken early. But he came back for his senior year, got injured week 7. Like, I think he tore up his knee or something. And he fell all the way down to 158. And the Jets got a steal, man. Like, when he was playing, he had the best ball skills out of anyone in college football. So I think, like, obviously injuries suck, but, you know, I think it's worked out for, like, the Jets because they're getting a guy that, like, can play. Like, look at Kendall Fuller. Like, he was injured his last year at Tech, and, like, look at him now. Like, he's killing it. Yeah. So, you know, Bryce Hall is some guy that we would want to watch.
100% agrees.
All right, we weren't planning on – have you already made your steal? Mention your steal?
I just wanted to give him an honorable mention, Denzel Mims, because
Denzel Mims give it.
Is a beast, and the Jets took him, and he was 6 picks away from coming to the Redskins. And a 6'3" big dude, Darnold's going to have a field day in the end zone with him. It's going to be great. But, yeah, go ahead. What were you going to say?
I was going to say, we weren't planning on doing this, but if you guys have one on top of your head, we can rattle them off really quick. Who do you think, when it's all said and done, 5-10 years from now, will be the best player from this draft? Because I think there's a clear number one answer, and I don't think it's Chase Young. I want it to be Chase Young. I hope it is, knock on wood. He's actually the favorite to win Rookie of the Year. The gambling odds are already out. But I think it's going to be another guy. I don't know if you guys have thought about this yet or if you have an answer off the top of your head that you can think of. Maybe you do think it's Chase Young, and he's probably going to be up there. But I think it's another guy, and I think a team got a steal by drafting him. But because he's a first-round pick, normally you don't think first-round picks are steals. You think the guys that are in the later rounds are steals. Do you guys have any idea of who you would pick as the guy who's going to end up being the best player?
CeeDee Lamb, baby.
Who?
I think I know who you're going with.
Who do you think?
The LSU running back? Clyde Edwards?
No, but I like him. I like him. I'm a big fan of his. The guy I think is going to be the best player, and it may be Huh?
Hey, did you say receiver? Because then I'm out.
No, it's not receiver.
Is it Derek Brown?
Yeah, I think it's
Yes,
going to be Derek
I was
Brown,
gonna say
dude.
Derek Brown too.
I kept seeing him projected top five, and he didn't get drafted top 5. He went 7 to Carolina. And finally, I just was like, let me watch his highlights because it's not fun to watch defensive tackles highlights.
Yeah.
They're pretty boring. But, dude, this guy is a man.
Yes.
It's unbelievable. Like, this guy moves big offensive linemen just by the whim of his arm. And it was just unbelievable. And when it's all said and done, maybe it's Chase Young, but this guy will not be far behind. And what I thought was fascinating, so Carolina has that new coach, right, Matt Rule from Baylor, who's like an offensive like guru. All 7 of his draft picks, defensive player. He didn't draft one offensive player. He went completely defense, even though he's an offensive guru. But I think he's going to hit gold with Derek Brown. That guy's going to, I think, be the best player from this draft.
That's who I was gonna say when you asked, because I was like, Derek Brown is just like this dude he's gonna eat offensive linemen and running backs all day, move around line. He's just not a tackle or a nose tackle or whatever. He's gonna move around and he's gonna do a little bit of everything. And he's probably gonna be the best player coming out of this draft if it's not Chase Young or one of the quarterbacks, because quarterbacks get all that love. But
yeah,
I think that dude is super McNasty.
I want to throw out an honorable mention for like my favorite player in the draft already. Marlon Davidson.
Huh?
From Atlanta.
Who?
Marlon Davidson.
Oh, okay.
He is by far my favorite player in this draft, more than Chase Young, more than anyone, because I love his attitude. He's just like, yo, I can just beat people and the cops can't come and do anything about it.
Yeah, I saw that.
Like,
that's
that guy
badass.
cracks me up. Like, yo, I don't want to see that guy ever.
And like, he's like, I could grab someone by the neck and tackle them, and then the cops can't do anything about it.
Yeah.
He's just like, yo, I can just beat the crap out of anyone and just like, boom.
100%.
It's a pretty badass line.
Stays within the lines of on the field and just does it there.
100%. The last thing I have is just any surprises that we haven't covered. I guess it's just like, surprises, good, bad, whatever that you guys saw that you weren't expecting. It's kind of just a free-for-all now.
I mean, I think I discussed most of the things that surprised me. Like,
yeah,
that's all like player like CeeDee Lamb going to 17. That's a surprise to me. Like the Raiders taking Damon Arnett in the first round. That's a surprise, right? Like a lot of the things that we mentioned were surprises. I guess my biggest surprise was in the top 15, we had 2 wide receivers go in like one of the deepest pools. And especially when you had 3 guys that were head and shoulders above everyone else. Like, I get it. If you're looking for a wide receiver, you can maybe wait a little bit. But you had 3 guys that are clearly the top 3 guys in the draft.
Mm-hmm.
But,
all right, we can round it out with this. Who's going to win Rookie of the Year?
Chase Young.
Okay.
Probably. But we'll go with CeeDee Lamb.
Okay. That's not a bad pick. That's absolutely possible.
Rookie of the Year, I would typically go with Chase Young, but he's a defensive player, and I think Rookie of the Year is catered towards offensive players.
Mm-hmm.
True.
I'm gonna go surprising. I'm gonna surprise you guys with this one. I'm gonna actually go with Joe Burrow, because
I was gonna go totally off the rails, so I thought you were gonna go the same way. I was about to walk out of this room. Okay, no, Joe Burrow's like a fair pick. I mean, he's the first of all pick.
I think number one, like I do think he's gonna be successful. I think they drafted for him to be successful by getting him T. Higgins.
Yep.
And personally, something about that situation is telling me that he may be more successful than we think he will be.
I think what you said, but I think that with Tua, like everyone's been shitting on him, he's going to come out the gates and just fire away and kill it.
The only problem that I have with Tua is, dude, you had 4 first-round grade wide receivers on your team. Like, 2 this year, 2 next year. Like, both of his guys last year or this year that didn't go into the draft are going in the first round next year. Like, that's a lot of weapons that you're working with. And some of it's saying, like, hey, like, how much of it's actually you versus, like, the team
You
around
still
him.
got to make the reads at the end of the day. Like you still have to make the reads in the SEC.
Yeah.
You still got to make the reads at the end of the day. You can be unsuccessful, right?
Yeah.
Like there are other guys that are going in the first round or first 2 rounds. Their quarterbacks aren't going anywhere, right?
Yeah.
So I know it's not 2 of them, but I think Jerry Jeudy, because I just want to be different. I don't think it's actually going to happen, but fuck it, why not? Him and Drew Lock, I think, are just going to have a surprise.
Jerry Judy's gonna have to have like a Megatron-like season for him to be.
I think he'll have – I think this will be a stat line. 1,200 yards, 12 touchdowns.
So out of the
Be-
three
That
main
is
guys, out of CeeDee Lamb, Jerry Jeudy, and Henry Ruggs, you're going with Jeudy having the best season.
because he's on the – he has the most opportunity on the better team versus the Raiders.
I think CeeDee Lamb's gonna have the better season.
I think CeeDee Lamb, because he's going to be the WR2 with Amari Cooper, and then he can just shit on the NFC East and just –
But the issue I have, right, is you still have Gallup, right? Who's playing the slot at that point, right? And you're still going to be running with Zeke. I understand that what's his name, Dak had 4,000 yards passing, but now it's with another option, and there's still Randall Cobb's still under contract, right? Is he not? He's still going to be on the field.
No,
No?
no. I mean, I'm saying
No,
regardless.
he's gone.
So Randall Cobb is gone. but
Cobb's
we're
on a new team.
in the slot. Yeah, I don't know. I still think he'll be.
I think they're going to move Amari Cooper to the slot. And then CeeDee Lamb is in a better situation. But if he's playing the slot, he's in a less better situation, if that makes sense. But that's just my thought.
Cobb's on the Texans now.
That's what it was. He didn't have to drive too far. But yeah,
Wow.
boom. Man, the draft is over. This was fun. I'm so sad everything's over again.
Now we don't have anything for a while.
Yeah. I mean, I have topics that are actually going to be a lot of fun that I not came up with. They're standard topics. But I have a lot of topics that we can talk about coming up. We're not dry on topics. I have lots of them. They're football, they're fantasy football, they're basketball, they're a little bit of golf, a little bit of racquetball, some pickleball.
Underwater basket weaving.
I mean, listen, we got ballet in there, everything. All right, cool. This is great, guys. I see that you're not entertained. All right, peace, y'all. Make sure you like, make sure you subscribe. Make sure you tell us who you think is going to be the best player out of this draft. And
Or
who-
what topics you want to hear about.
Yeah, that too. We'd love ideas. We're not against
Yeah,
it.
that's actually a good idea.
Yeah.
Let us know.
Yep. All right, peace.
Those-
Not the peace sign. This is the peace sign. It's awkward.
Rest in peace, Sean Taylor.
R.I.P. Kobe.
Any more? I don't want to cut it off again. Last time I was an asshole and I cut it off.